9-1, surface areas of prisms. Now, in fact, this one here, we're talking about prisms. This whole lesson's actually on rectangular and triangular prisms. However, today, just going to do rectangular prisms, box shapes, just to cut down on the stress and anxiety. And it's worked well in past years. So these notes are going to go over half the notes that you have. And we'll come back tomorrow, day 2, on triangular prisms. But to start with, we're talking about surface area. So just like the name says, it's the area of all of the surfaces, everything on the outside. So just like it says, the sum of the bases and lateral faces. Now the bases is the main shape. And then this lateral faces, it's this lateral surface area you see down here what talks about. We're talking about the area of all the lateral faces. Now, that's going to make more sense as we go along. But what you're going to see is that what we're talking about lateral, much like in football, if you do a lateral, it throws side to side. Or if you're in basketball doing shuffle drill, you're going side to side. The lateral surface areas are the side faces. They're the everything else but the base, the main shape. And again, that'll make more sense as we continue to do problems bit by bit, day by day on lateral surface area. However, we talked about it in our superhero project. With surface area, there's a few different ways to do this. We have a formula we can use, and the other way is to kind of take in what we just did in chapter 8. If we took this box or rectangular prism and then we were to crush it or flatten it, we could then draw what's called a net. A net being the look that it has when it is flat. So again, the base being the main shape here, and then the lateral faces is everything on the sides. Now again, just like we just covered in the last chapter, we could figure out the total surface area by finding the area of this composite figure. So we find the area of each of these shapes and then add them together. And that is a method that works. So you can do that. Break it apart, find the area of each face, the surface area of each face, and then from there, add them all together like a composite figure. During the superhero project, though, we introduced you to this formula. SA, short for surface area, equals 2B, that is a capital B and needs to be capital B, plus capital PH. Stressed it in the superhero project, the review project we did to get ready for the NDSA test. And now we're going to see it and get more instruction on it. Again, it's very important because the capital B is not just base. We're talking about the area of the base. That means, again, the area of the main shape. So today, the rectangle. And as we go on, the shape will change, the base will change. And then again, capital P, it's very, very important. It's a capital P because it stands for perimeter of the base. Please note, you need to fix that in your notes. I believe that this P and this P may not be capitalized. Please make sure they are both capitalized because, again, it's not just any perimeter. It's the perimeter of the base. It's the main shape. So talking about this chapter with surface area and volume, we're going to hear a lot about the base, the main shape. So it is literally all about the base when we talk about this chapter. Again, and then that H, it's referred to as the height of the prism, but perhaps the better way to say it is it's the distance between the bases. So distance between base to base. The distance between the main shape, the two rectangles, or triangles as we'll cover tomorrow. So, as you may have guessed it, every problem is going to need this formula. Every time. As per usual, one reason, I told you so. Reason number 2, it's worth a point. Reason number 3, you're going to start to memorize it because you write it down over and over and over again. And reason number 4, perhaps maybe more important to you, you're going to get the answer right because you have the correct formula. Here we go. Find the surface area of the given prism. Again, prism because it could have any different type of base to it, but this is a box. So the main shape would be that rectangle, which on this one, there could be any rectangle you choose. You can choose the front, the top, the bottom, the left, the right. As long as there's a rectangle on both sides, it's the base. For simplicity's sake, since you're watching the video, I want to call the base down here, this shape. Please, in your notes, outline it. Highlight it, because notice there's a rectangle on bottom and the same rectangle is on the top. The same rectangle is directly opposite of it. That's why if you pick the front, you could do that. There's a rectangle in front and the same rectangle in back, or you could pick the right and the left because they have the same rectangle as well. But picking the top, here we go. Step 1, we're going to write down that formula every time. Yep, so that way we can start memorizing it. SA equals 2 big B plus big P little h. That's the main formula. Now, some way, shape, or form, we're going to kind of go off to the side and start doing some work. Find the area of the base. This base is a rectangle. If you want to write the word rectangle, you can. Otherwise, just show me the formula for area of a rectangle. Length times width. The length of this rectangle, 9. The width of it, slightly covered up by mine, but you can see it in your notes, 4. Mental math, calculator approved, 9 times 4 is 36. So this number is the area of the base. We're going to plug it in for the big B. Bring down that 2, and note it's not 236. The 2 and the B are touching, so there needs to be a multiplication sign, whether you want the dot or if you want to use the X sign for multiplying, it is your choice. From there, we now need that capital P, which is not just any perimeter, it's the perimeter of the base. So normally, you could probably figure out a formula by talking about length plus width plus length plus width. But for me, I need to see the work for sure. That formula, talk to me. We'll see from year to year if I require that. But for sure, I need to see the work. So again, notice 2 things. First off, what numbers did we use over here for the length and the width? 9 and 4. Awesome. So spoiler alert, guess what you're going to use over here for perimeter? 9 and 4. Oh, or go back. What is the length of this side? That would be 9. What is the width of this side? 4. Don't stop there. Go around the entire base. So make sure you travel this back side, which again, since this front side is 9, the back side would also be 9, plus the right side of 4. Add them together, mental math, calculator approved. You can take 9 plus 4 plus 9 plus 4. Please use calculators. And you get 26. So again, plug that in as the perimeter of the base. So that goes up here. And this height, again, it's not the height of anything in there that we're seeing. It's the height of the prism. Or a better way to say it is, what is the distance from the bottom rectangle to the top rectangle? Or another spoiler alert, what's the other number we haven't used yet? But what you're looking for is, what is the height? What is this distance here between the top and the bottom rectangle? That's where this number comes into play. And again, it's not 266. Please make sure you put a multiplication sign in there, and then grab your handy dandy calculator, but type it all in once. Do it fatally, meaning type in 2 times 36 plus 26 times 6. Let the calculator do PEMDAS for you to get the final answer of 228. And now we're talking surface area, but it still has that word area in it, which means then we are going to go to our label, just like we've done with all of our areas, as yards squared. Now, just as a reminder, you're going to hear it over and over and over again. You have to write that formula down every time. It's a point. It's for work. All this work right here, 2 times 36 plus 26 times 6, point for work. Answer, point. Label, point. Work to find the perimeter, point. Formula for the perimeter, no matter what, for the area of your base will always be a point. I know that. Work to find it. Add up the smiley faces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1 point for trying it. You have an 8-point problem when it comes to a quiz, a graded worksheet, or your test. Again, let's practice it on another one. Here we go. What's the shape of the base? What's the general shape of this thing, this prism we call it? So again, whatever you want to look at it, for me, I'm going to go and take a look at the bottom because I think that's going to be the easiest. So if we do that, do you agree there's a squarish rectangle on the bottom? Again, technically by the numbers it's square, but I'm not concerned about it. Do you agree that there's one on the bottom, the exact same thing, directly opposite or parallel of it? Great, because there is. That makes it the base. It's the main shape that we're going to use. All right, now that we know that, here goes. Yep, every time. Not just once on the top of your paper, not just once on the top of your notes. Every note, example, every example on your homework. You're writing down that formula. And again, feel free at any point in time to replay something on here, rewatch the video in its entirety, or just rewind quick to say, wait, how did he get that? That's what this video is for. You can re-watch it as many times as you want, or rewatch a section as many times as you need so that it makes sense. And of course, if it doesn't, come see me. And we're going to spend tons of time on this, 13 days or so, depending on how our schedule looks here in the spring. But once again, we've decided this is the base. Because it is the base, please put down the formula for finding the area of a rectangle or a square. Both are the same. Again, here we go. Length times width, that formula we need to see. The length of the bottom here is 8. The width of the bottom of the base is 8. That is 64. So you plug that in for area of the base. And again, bring that 2 straight on down. We're going to leave it right there because it's in the formula. Why is it there? Great question. There are 2 bases. Notice how many rectangles are there? There's one on the bottom and one on the top for a total of 2. That's where this number 2 comes from, because there are 2 bases, 2 main shapes. Now, off we go again. Here it is. Find the perimeter of the base. Put down the letter P. Yes, I want you to put down the P so you know what you're doing and what the work is for. The formula, length plus width plus length plus width, I'll give you the option of there, but nonetheless, travel the whole thing. This part is 8. The right side is 8. That's all the numbers we see, but don't stop there. Excuse me, go around the bottom. So the back side, 8, and the left side, 8. Add them up. Mental math, calculator, all approved, 32. Careful, whether calculator or mental math, be very, very careful that you don't get this number wrong. If we get either of these numbers wrong here on accident, because we mental math wrong or we accidentally typed it into the calculator wrong, we're going to get the final answer wrong. Good news, it's only 1 point wrong, but nonetheless, don't make the error just because we thought 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 was 28. Don't make a mistake like that. If it does happen, it happens. But just try to attend to precision and make sure mental math or calculator, you're good to go there. And again, that H, if it helps, it's called the height. That's what we say in math. But if you want to think of it, what's the distance between the 2 rectangles for us today? What's the distance between these 2 base shapes? It's that 5. So again, you've got the formula. Make sure you have that written in. You need that. You've got the formula for area of the base, the work for the area of the base, the work for the perimeter, the work for everything plugged in. We're going to get an answer. We're going to get a label, and that's where we end the problem. So again, type that all into your calculator all in once. 2 times 64 plus 32 times 5. Do it all in one swoop, so that way you don't make any mistakes with PEMDAS. Let the calculator do PEMDAS for you since you get to use it. You plug it on in, you get 288, but again, go back to it. Don't forget we have that label, and we're talking area, so it's not just meters, but meters squared. That is how we do rectangular prisms. So again, in your notes, here's a triangular prism. All that means is, guess what the general shape is of the whole thing? It's a triangle. There's one on top and one just like it on the bottom. But we're going to skip this for today. We'll do a separate video, a separate day on triangular prisms, just to cut down on the stress and anxiety or anything like that. It just has worked well the past years that I've done that, of splitting this lesson into 2. Helps with mastery and confidence, and that's what I want. Build your confidence and the mastery. Once again, general shape. I see a triangle in front, a triangle in back. It's called a triangular prism. We will do that later. Surface area cube. Hey, look, cool. What a neat little formula. Here's another one. So if you ever want to memorize another formula, surface area of a cube is 6 times s squared, because here's the thing. What is a cube? Well, what's the general shape of a cube? You have this right here. It would be a square. Whether we're thinking like a die or dice, how many faces or how many sides does a die have? Same thing with the cube. How many sides does it have? It has 6 sides. It's a square on every one of them. So because of that, we take the side squared. That's how we find the area of the base of the square. And from there, you then take it times 6 squared. But since I'm not wanting to teach you too many other formulas, you can memorize that one, or we can use the same one as before. Either one will work just fine. I'm going to use the surface area equals 2b plus pH, because that's the formula I want you to get used to and memorize it. It works for a cube. If you want to memorize more, go right ahead, but I figure memorizing 4 or 5 formulas is enough, and not adding 7 or 8 or 10 total to it. So here we go. Already mentioned it's a cube, so when we go back to it, we talked about they're all squares. So if this side down here is 3, guess how much this side is? 3. Guess how much this side is? 3. So pick one square. Pick one of them as your base. And please, today with the worksheet, outline it, highlight it. You want highlighters? I can get highlighters. You can use them each day. Give them on back. Get your own. Outline it with your pencil or don't. The choice is yours. But then start working it out. Here we go. Because it is a rectangle, find the area of the base. I need a formula. A equals L times W. And in this case, it's side squared. 3 times 3 gives you 9. Plug that in right here. This guy out of the way. And again, bring the 2 down because there is a square on the bottom and the top, or the front and the back. There's always 2 of them, one on either side. Now, find the perimeter. Yep. Show me the letter P. Again, you want to tell me length plus width plus length plus width. I'd love to see that, but for sure, I need to see that it's 3 plus 3. Don't stop there. Do the perimeter, the whole outside. So this front side is 3, the right side is 3, the back side is 3, and the left side is 3. Yes. Some of you are asking, yeah, I'll take it. Show me the work. 3 times 4. Done. It's 12. Or if you want to do 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, great. Plug it on in for 12. And again, the height, if you outline the bottom, then how far is it from the bottom to the top? How far is it between the 2 squares or rectangles today? That is your height. And again, in a cube, they're all the same. So again, carefully type that into your calculator. Do it all at once. Don't type them separately. Get 2 different numbers. Let the calculator do PEMDAS for you. So that way, when you get it, you get the answer. And then you attach the label to it. Feet squared. This is how you find the surface area of a rectangular prism. Surface area, again, we want every face, we want every surface. So that's the front, that's the back, the left, the right side, the top, and the bottom, all 6 sides. Now, every once in a while, they'll ask for you to find the lateral surface. Please on this one, put down lateral surface. If they ever ask you to find, excuse me, lateral surface, you want to do something along this. Now you read the problem. This says the outside of a purple traps are coated with glue to catch emerald ash borers. They're like animals. So you catch this trap as a rectangular prism. You can see it right here. It has an open top and an open bottom. So think of it as a rectangular box that has both this top part, and if you can see it, just barely down here, I can see it in mine, this bottom one are both cut out or removed. So you need to coat all the lateral surfaces, all the sides of it with glue. How much area is that? Well, there we go. Would you like to memorize a separate formula? No, I'm not going to teach you that. Let's keep life simple. Find the surface area, 2b plus pH. But here it comes. Because we are doing lateral surface area, this square on top and this square on bottom have been cut off. They are gone. They are not there. So what you need to do then, after you've written down 2b plus pH, cross off the 2b plus pH. Cross it off because we are not figuring out the area of this top part or this bottom part. It's gone, so don't include it. All we want are the lateral faces. We just want all of these separate sides. This left side, the front, the right, and the back. Again, you could draw a net and find the area of each as a composite figure and add them together, or you can use this formula. The base shape, though, is still this top or bottom. So use the same formula. How do we find the perimeter of the base? Go around the base. We said it was this top and bottom because it's been cut off or removed. So show me the work. Perimeter is, the top doesn't have any numbers. So I'm going to jump down to the bottom. We've got 10 on the left side, 12 on the bottom, and don't stop there. So often we just add the two numbers we see and we think we're done. You must travel the whole perimeter, add the right side of 10 and the left side of 12. You mental math or calculator, be very careful when you do it. You get 44, plug that in for the P, and then again, the capital P, perimeter of the base, and then go back. What is the height? What's the distance from the two squares or rectangles? In this case, it's 30 inches, a big box. So we didn't do the 2b plus ph because it's not included. We don't have those bases. They've been removed. So this is how you find lateral surface area. You literally don't do 2b. You don't do anything with the base. You just do ph. So you don't need to memorize a whole new formula. Just cut out the part we don't need. And then even though this is a large number when you type it on in, you're right. 44 times 30 gives you 1,452. And then attach that label, inches squared. If you're worried, no, you're not going to lose points because you didn't find the area of the base. You don't need to. On this problem, they say lateral surface area. All I'm looking for, again, the main formula, the work for perimeter, the work that you typed in to get this answer and a label. So lateral surface area, count the smiley faces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 happy faces, and a point for trying means this is worth 6 points on a quiz, on your test, or on a worksheet when we come back and do a day 2 review, and it is graded on correctness and points shown, not just on completion. So again, today, even though it is talking about rectangular prisms and triangular prisms, we did not do that. We're only doing rectangular prisms to help ease us into this surface area and volume. So for today then, you have a worksheet, which is awesome because then just like before, how I've been drawing all over these boxes and shapes here, you can do the same thing because it's a worksheet. Grab a highlighter, grab a pen, grab colored pens, colored pencils, whatever, or don't do it. Doesn't matter. It's up to you. And as previously mentioned, if you need to go back and watch one of these again, please do so. Whether it is watching the whole thing again to get surface area, the formula, and how we did everything, if it's just rewatching one of them to get them, if it's rewatching the lateral surface areas, please do so. Otherwise, this ends the video. Get the worksheet, rectangular prism worksheet, and complete it. It will be due the next day.